Hi everybody, and I'm here for I'm here for a video here just to kind of talk about the product and kind of explain exactly the significance of this product and how you would use it. This product I have for individually for kindergarten through 5th grade. So I'm showing you the 2nd grade one, but it's the exact same for all of the different grade levels. It's just a different color. So I just want to go ahead and say that. So these resources are for anyone. As an instructional coach, I made it for my teachers when we were just trying to, they had come to me during one of our data meetings talking about how overwhelmed they were trying to organize. We have this new curriculum and there are so many lessons and so many skills that they're teaching that like they're just trying to fit it all in a certain amount of time by the end of the year or by a certain date for the test, and they are just looking for a way to make it work because they're just extremely overwhelmed. And so the goal of this is to, one, not only just kind of see your state, your grade level priority standards, but really understand exactly what that priority standard each one is asking, and then where in your curriculum you're teaching it, and where in the test is it assessing that, so that you can see and really focus in and hone in on if your students are mastering those priority standards. Those other skills and other standards will still be taught and are still important, but the focus is really prioritizing those priority standards, hence the name, and then you continue to teach those other skills and standards, but knowing that the priority standards are what continue on every grade level. They develop from each other, and that it's also the grade levels are doing state testing. Those are where the questions come from. So it's just always making sure that we're knowing and we're really focusing on those priority standards, and then continuing on those skills and other standards as well, but just not focusing as much on those and really prioritizing where your state wants you to. So if you do not know how to access your priority standards, it's pretty easy. You can just go to Google and I type in Missouri priority standards. So when I go here, all I'm going to do is click the top one, go down, and so ELA or math. So if I'm going to do, we'll do math. So I'm going here, and here is by grade level each math priority standards. So you have kindergarten's priority standards for Missouri. It's going to be the ones that are bold. Well, these are all of them. So once you have those, that's where this resource comes. And you don't have to use everything that's in this resource. You can pick and choose what you want. That's the nice thing about having your own template, is that you can delete, duplicate, whatever. So there are 2 templates that come on here. There is the Google Slides. If you are a Google Slides person, perfect. If not, we also have a Canva link here. You click on it and it'll pop up like this, and then it'll create your own template for you that you can work on. So let me see, 2nd grade. Okay. And so I have them both. They match. They're the exact same, just a different program. So if you go down to I have an example of how to use it. But here we have the first step, which is unpacking the priority standards. So there's a table here. So when I'm looking at my table that I just found, I need to go to 2nd grade. Okay. So the first priority standard for 2nd grade in Missouri is understanding place value of 3-digit numbers. So TNBTA. So I'm going to go back here. And this is something that grade levels can do together at the beginning of the year. They can do it throughout the year. I mean, if the table's not really your thing, you can also just copy and paste or screenshot this table right here. But I like to just type it out. It kind of helps me get familiar with everything. And so now that I have that, you type your priority standard number here. Being able to kind of put it in your own table kind of helps you get familiar with everything, in my opinion. Not for everybody, only speaking for myself. So N2 NBTA. And this is a group thing. You guys can all do as a grade level. Something to do during data meetings, something to do during professional development. It does happen pretty quickly once everyone's doing it together, but it helps everybody kind of be on the same page. So the priority standard we said was understand place value of 3-digit numbers. And then your anchor standards that are to support this are these 2. So then I would just type it in. Understand 3-digit numbers are composed of hundreds, tens, and ones, and compare 2 3-digit numbers using symbols. So I would type that in right here, all of the anchor standards for this specific priority standard. So then this is where I go into my curriculum and I look to see, okay, so chapter 8 is all place value, focused on place value. So what specific lessons are addressing this priority standard, understanding place value of 3-digit numbers? And then what are my plans to help make sure that students are going to cover it? So maybe just one lesson isn't enough to really instill mastery of understanding place value of 3-digit numbers. So what am I doing? How many days do I need? This is where I would share how many days I need to work on this specific priority standard. It might be a month, might be 2 months, who knows? If there's a plan in the green, you're going to share, like if you're just going to be reviewing it all year long, like so kindergarten, they have calendar in the morning. Are you doing the sticks, the hundreds, tens, and ones, and grouping them together? So this is where you're just going to have a plan of like, what are you doing to make sure that the kids are going to master this skill by the time the test comes? So, and I had ours for ELA, so I did the math one and the ELA one, but there's ELA, and then down here is math. So then after you get the table complete, you're then going to go down, and then this is where you can really dive deep into, if you want. This is where you dive kind of deeper into the priority standard. So you type the priority standard number here, 2NBTA, so you know exactly what you're doing, the place value of the 3-digit numbers in your anchor standards. Again, copy and paste is always a gem as well. This is something. So then you're going to go, what are the key words of this priority standard? What are the words that the students need to be familiar with and know when they're taking this test? Because some might not know what place value is. Some might not know what hundreds, tens, and ones is. And grouping them together. So like those are the words that you think are going to be important. So what are the essential skills the students need to know in order to master this specific priority standard? So they probably need to be able to skip count. They need to be able to count to 10. They need to be able to, so like these are the things that you as a group, as a grade level need to talk about. Like what are the essential skills that they need? So then question stems, what are the questions that come with this priority standard that you can ask the kids? So what are limitations that might come with your priority standard? So where do you see there becoming a problem with some students? Maybe not all, but always trying to plan ahead for limitations that you're going to come across when you're teaching. Then teacher notes. This is where you're going to kind of just type in anything extra that you guys want to make a note for yourself, so that when you're coming back and doing your planning, you have your notes here to remind yourself, don't forget this. If they're struggling, try this. Then this little section right here is just so that you know what priority standard the student should have known before coming to second grade. So this would be the first grade equivalent. So that's when this is also helpful, because you can just go up. This was 2 NBTA. So I'm gonna go up here, and in first grade here, I see my NBTA, my 1 NBTA, and it was understanding place value of 2-digit numbers. So essentially, when they're coming from first grade, they should have their priority standard mastered, that they already know place value of 2-digit numbers. So that's where you kind of put in the skill that they should have learned in first grade, and then what they're going to need to do in third grade, so that you know that you're sending the kids prepared for third grade. So then you can also go here then and find third grade. I just figure that out, you type it in. So that's how you complete. That's just for one priority standard. This is, I have slides for ELA and for math, so that you have both subjects that you can cover. So another useful tool in really trying to understand exactly what you need to teach and what the students need to know. So now this is kind of a cool thing I started last year, and this is the collecting and analyzing student data, but like it's not what we all normally do. It's focusing only on the priority standard and assuring mastery. So this was super helpful for my teachers. This was the one feedback that I did get that they felt like was something different, and kind of organized a little bit of like their overwhelmed feelings that they were feeling about the curriculum, and like the district constantly honing, saying, make sure you're teaching the priority standards. Okay, but shouldn't the curriculum cover it? Yes, but where does it cover it? So you know that that's where you're really just focusing. So for the teachers, they go through their, let's start with math, in their math tests. They'd look on their tests. Some of my teachers did all of this at the beginning of the year, so that all they had to do was refer back and be able just to plan effectively then, using their notes that they've already done for the beginning of the year. Some liked to do it throughout the year as they go, before, like, so maybe the next unit is place value. So a couple weeks before they're about to cover place value, they sit together and they look at the place value test. So they type in, okay, this is unit 2 test. It's place value, so we know that the priority standards that it's going to be covering for us for second grade is 2 NBTA. So then they type in 2 NBTA place value. And then now they look at the test and they see what questions actually only are assessing that priority standard and seeing if the students master it. So not any of the extra questions that have to do with place value that maybe assess a skill, but doesn't exactly assess the place value priority standard. So there's 8 questions on this test. Let's say questions 1, 3, and 5 actually assess that priority standard. So we're only, when we're analyzing data, we're looking at questions 1, 3, and 5. So now I gave the test, and now we're grading it. I have, let's just say we have me, and we'll just do my husband's name. Okay, so the questions that we're focusing on are 1, 3, and 5. So I have question 1, question 3, and question 5. So student names can all go here, questions go here. So you leave the rest blank if you don't have any more questions that are assessing the priority standard. So for me, it was just a 1-point question. I either get it right or you get it wrong. So let's just say I did not master question 1. So I'm just going to fill it in red. So Christian, for his test, he did great. Good job. He got green. He mastered it. So just that one question, but there's 3 questions assessing mastery here. So then now question 3, let's just say, okay, we'll give myself a green. I got that point. He got that point. Great. Okay. And then now question 5, it was a 2-point question. So now I'm going to, let's say maybe I got 1 question right, or 1 point, half of the question right. And okay, so now let's say I got one, it was a 2-point question, and I got half of it right. So that means I would be, and this again, it's up to you if you want to have a yellow for working on mastery. If not, it's easier just to have like a mastered and not mastered. It's whatever works for you. But if you were to do it, then yellow would be it. So I'm working on it. I got half of it right. And let's say we'll give him a yellow too. Or, well, no, we're going to give him a red. Let's say he did not master. So now, once you have everybody's colors in, it's easy to see as a class how they're doing with this priority standard, and then who's getting polled for what. So I see that for question 1, I did not get it. Let's say a majority. So I'm going to pull Aubrey to do some more work on place value priority standards. I might pull Christian just to see where he is, but he, for the most part, got 2 out of the 3 right. So this is where you can just analyze the skills. And then there's a little spot here to kind of reflect on what you noticed about the trends in data for the specific priority standard. And then what's your next steps? What are your action steps for making sure and ensuring that your students master this priority standard? And then so there's graphs for each test. You also can put the title right here. But this just helps you kind of, and then this data is always safe for you to go back to. So when you're taking your next test, you can go back and forth to see, okay, well, they did this and here we are here. Like, are they making growth? I don't know. But this really helps with data meetings. It really is a visual for everybody. And not only is this for yourself, but this is an easy way to share evidence with admin, whoever, the work that you're doing to better your teaching and to ensure that your students are successful. All you have to do, and so this is the next step, is as an instructional coach or just as a teacher, whoever's buying or using this resource, if you're just a teacher using this to better your teaching, all you can do if you want to share it with somebody is click share up here, and then you can invite someone to just be a viewer. So let's say I'm my other self, you can make it as a viewer. So if there's someone you want to see your work, but you don't want them to be able to touch any of it, then they're a viewer, and then you can send it and they can look, or you can have a link that you can email them or attach to your growth plan as evidence. So I just want an easy way to share your evidence of data tracking. Okay, then if you're and same with Canva, if you're using the Canva template, the same thing, you can click share, and then you can go down to, move my camera screen here, okay, then you can go to public view link and send the link to whoever you wish to view your data, or not view your data. So, and then again here, let me give you a little view of the Canva template. So it's the same thing, just on Canva. For reading and math, again, you can add, you can duplicate, delete, whatever you want, don't want, it won't hurt my feelings. But same, you've got your graph, same thing. So just in the Canva form. I know we all have different preferences of what we like to use. So if you are an instruction coach or an admin and you are wanting one for your grade, your teachers, then all you have to do is, so you don't have to do it. It's just what I do. It kind of helped to keep it organized. For Google Drive, I would create a folder that I would share out with either all of the teachers or just the grade level and label it their grade, new folder. And I would just say, okay, so this is second grade that I was doing, second grade, create. So then in the second grade folder, I create a copy of this with their name. So file, make a copy, entire presentation, and I would just use that teacher's name. So let's say for me, Payne. And then I would let me change the folder to second grade, select, and then make a copy. So then when I share these folders out, I have access to it, they have access to it, they easily know how to get to the folder, they can star it, and each of them have their own personalized copy. I would do this for each grade, so they all have their own folder. Canva, kind of the same thing, but I would use the, let me see. For Canva, I would make a copy of the resource, and then I would share it with the teacher. So, and then I would make a Google Doc for me and my principal for us to have to see everybody's link, so that if we needed to go to it, so it would be unpacking priority standards master sheet. So then I would have, let's say, kindergarten, underline it, okay, great, and then I would have, so Payne, and then I would put her Canva link. So let's say that's me. So let's say this is my Canva template. I'm going to share it and public view link for myself. So then I can copy it right here. And so we can't edit it. Only the teacher can. They'll have their own copy, but at least I now have a link for me to access when I need to. So, and I would just have all of the grades going down so that we have a link for everybody. But then teachers, you just can email them when you make them a copy. So you want to share it with somebody, you can type in their name. So if the teacher, this is their template, they can type your name in or your email, and it'll allow you to collaborate or view depending on what you want them to do. So I hope this was helpful in kind of explaining this resource. Again, you don't have to use all of it. If you're not looking for like this whole package, take apart and pick what you want. For the most part, the reviews and feedback for this resource has been only positives, trying to organize chaos and overwhelmed feelings into just something to really hone in and focus on. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day.